Welcome to the first edition of the Conch Republic News Network daily broadcast. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2020. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. This is our first broadcast and we're working on the format and those kind of things. We've been working on this for several months, so we appreciate you guys bearing with us, and we're going to do a daily broadcast and assimilate all the news and going on around town and try to bring it to you on a daily basis. Right now, I'd like to introduce my co-host for the evening. Would like to welcome Captain Stroker, the doer of deeds, local charter captain, master of the seas, consumer of libations, the rider of the storm.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Welcome
to Key West. This is sunny Key West.
Sunny Key West, yeah.
Sunny Key West, Florida.
The people, well, I guess it's sunny everywhere these days.
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how I met you guys off of your viral video from riding out the hurricane on a sailboat.
Yes. That was seems like a million years ago, to be honest, at this point. You know, so many things have happened, but yes. A friend of mine and I, we rode out Hurricane Irma. You guys might have heard of this. Hurricane Irma was a pretty big storm here in Key West, yes. And we had a great time. We were riding out the storm and everybody was watching.
Good times, huh?
Good times.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. I wish I was doing it right now.
Wow.
But I don't recommend it. For those kids out there, don't do this at home.
Don't do this at home.
Yes.
Well, we're going to jump into some topics.
What are we talking about today, Jim? What are we talking about?
A bunch of different things. This is our first broadcast, so we're kind of playing catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off by talking about the traffic on US 1 coming down right now.
I've seen this on all the social media. I mean, people are talking about it. Lots of lines of cars, all focused into one direction, coming into the Keys.
It's super backed up coming into the Keys. You know, the Keys were shut down completely. It was the nation's largest gated community during the coronavirus shutdown of 2020. So now that it's opened back up and that's been dropped.
The floodgates are open.
The floodgates are open,
and they are all pouring in. Getting a lot of people out here from Orlando. We're getting people from South Florida and Miami area. I think a lot of Florida people that can drive down in a day are coming in.
They probably feel safer driving in their car.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
You can drive down. You don't have to.
What do you think of the people that wear the masks in their car?
Right.
What do you think about that? Guys, you're safe in your own car. Just say it. You
don't have to wear the mask.
Don't just take the mask off. You're good.
And let's talk about that a little bit, because masks, are a point of contention. People say they don't work. People say they do work. What it comes down to in Key West is the fact that it is the city and county ordinance that if you have to wear a mask inside.
The point that I want to make is where the masks end up in Key West, because people do like to drink in Key West. So they end up in funny places, on top of their head, on their arm, and at various other locations, because this is Key West and people like to drink a lot. So You can, if you come to Key West, you can see this for yourself. Where does the mask end up? It's a nightly thing,
Yeah, and how many masks do people have? Just one mask and they keep wearing it and never clean it?
Right. Yeah, it's wash that darned mask, please. I can smell them from across the room.
Kind of concerned for people's own safety just by washing the masks.
Yeah, exactly.
And it all kind of ties into, we talked about the floodgates open and traffic coming down on 1, and I'm sure everyone has heard at this point that Florida has banned on-premise alcohol consumption in bars in Key West.
Bar
town. So that being said, don't be surprised if you come down here and you can't go bar hopping like you normally would.
You can go bar hopping, they just won't let you in.
Yes. You can go restaurant hopping.
Restaurant hopping.
Hopping. So you can consume alcohol in a restaurant. But you cannot consume alcohol in a bar. So that's kind of part of the stuff on social media people are complaining about.
It's a weird world, man.
The virus doesn't know the difference, or does the virus know the difference between a restaurant and a bar?
It does. It obviously does. I mean, these guys have done their homework. The bars are, bad. Restaurants are good.
That being said, the strip clubs are temporarily closed.
Clothed. Get it? You get it? Temporarily clothed.
We did say that the Red Garter was trying to do, because the restaurants were allowed to be open, they were trying to do a...
Red Garter's a strip club, by the way. It's a local strip club. We all love it and have been there and patronize it. Some of us have financed some dancers' children's college funds.
Yes.
By going there.
So they actually tried to do a tacos and tatas, but I don't think that quite went over.
It didn't.
Well, don't believe that they're open. Anyway, so moving on from that.
So moving on, but we're sorry, guys, that if you come in here for the strip clubs, unfortunately, right now they're temporarily closed.
Temporarily closed. We're very sorry. No bar hopping, no strip clubs,
clubbing,
but you can eat and drink in a restaurant.
Yes.
Speaking of some good things around town, I don't want to be all doom and gloom and talk about all the bad negative things, because we appreciate everybody coming down. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but there is a floating tiki out on the water.
There is. Now this is something I've seen myself. This is an amazing thing. It's kind of the talk of the town, really. I mean, people are talking about
this.
There's only one of them, and you can book this through Airbnb, from what I understand. And it is supposed to be really amazing. I mean, people are really talking about it, and it's the hottest, latest, newest thing. You go there, and it's like a floating tiki hut with a king-size bed inside. It's got shower, air conditioning, the whole thing, and it's set in the middle of, not in the middle of the ocean, it's pretty close to shore, but it feels like you're just miles and miles away. So if you guys have a chance to check that out, that's on Airbnb.
Pretty romantic, it sounds like.
It is. Would you like to go there with me sometime?
Possibly. Actually, I'm gonna pass. I have a question for you.
Okay, I've got an answer.
Because this is Key West, and it is a drinking town. They say that Key West is a drinking town with a tourist problem.
Yep.
So how early is too early to start drinking in Key West? If you want to day drink, what's the earliest you can start day drinking, or maybe you just carry it on from the night before?
That's an excellent question. I haven't stopped drinking in weeks, so I'm really not sure. But, I don't think there's really, in Key West at least, there's no real timeline involved in that.
6 a.m., 5 a.m.?
I think that, I personally have seen people drinking whiskey and having eggs and bacon with their whiskey.
And if you go to Harpoon Harry's, you can actually do that.
Harpoon Harry's, a local place that we all love and cherish, and they will serve you whiskey with your breakfast if you go there.
So eggs and
Not that we've ever done that.
No.
Never.
Eggs and whiskey.
Eggs and whiskey.
And talking about another thing is the anchorage out here. So the anchorage in Key West is where all of the people drop anchor right outside of Key West, and you can live for free. So truly living off the grid, but yet close to shore. And the city and the county have been fighting the people living out there for quite a while. So the latest thing that has happened is they have suspended the pump out service for the Blackwater, right? So that was a service that was offered by the county, where they would come to your boat once a week and they would pump out for you, and it was paid through funds, through the county and that. Right. So if you can elaborate on that, because Stroker's got a boat out on the ocean.
I do, and I for a long time I was living on the hook, as they call it, and like you said, that means living at anchor in an anchorage. And so, what that means is that like you said, you live off the grid. You're kind of, a lot of these people kind of make their own rules. They're living on the edge, and which is kind of, Key West style, man. That's really what Key West is about. It's where, I think Key West kind of, the flavor of Key West, stems from that whole thing. But yet the gentrification of Key West, which is happening now, they're starting to push these things out. They want they kind of look at these things as negative. For some reason, and it's not all positive, it's not all good, but there's a beauty in that. There's a simplicity and a freedom about that is very much Key West. And with this new law, there have been talk amongst some of what they call liveaboards, and there's people that live aboard their boat, that maybe this could be, in fact, a way to push the liveaboards out. So to elaborate on that, what this means is that when you use your bathroom or head, when you're speaking of, in boat terms or marine terms, that waste goes into a tank. And then once a week, this boat comes along and it pumps that out. This has been a free service for a long time. And so unfortunately, now that has changed and that those things have changed, now you have to bring your boat into the dock. Now, these people who have been doing this for a long time, some of their boats don't really necessarily can go into a dock. So
And it's not the easiest of tasks. To bring
it's
a
not
sale
necessarily.
on
I mean, well, I mean, you know, if
Once a
you don't, I think it's actually once a month is what they're saying. You have to have once a month. So, yeah, this is a new thing. This is what's going on.
And you have to have a receipt that you went in and pumped this out, right?
Right. In order to prove now, we have a state government or state governmental agency called the FWC. Now, the FWC is responsible for, you know, basically making sure that everybody who lives in these anchorages follows all the rules. And God love them. They, you know, at the best of times, they're doing their job. They're making sure that this is how it goes. But unfortunately, for these people, now they don't have anywhere to go except for to take their boats into an approved pump out station. So what does that mean? Approved pump out station, there's only a few of them here, and you have to take your boat in and pump it out, pay to have it pumped out, then bring your boat back in. So this is, you know, it can be an issue.
It sounds like it. And, you know, it's unfortunate for those guys out there. But, you know, we hope that they work something out. They did say it was going to be temporary, but everyone believes it's going to be a permanent thing, and it's going to, you know, just continue to cause.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope
that, you know, something works out on that. But, you know, it is something to be aware of. You know, there are all these little ecosystems in Key West, you know, and the way people live. Right. And we'll be, as we do more sessions, we'll talk about, you know, wisteria and some of these other, you know, ways that people live around in Key West. And it's just, and like you said, that is the spirit and the freedom of the island.
True. And a lot of these people actually service whenever you come to Key West. They're the ones, your servers. They're your bartenders. They're your, you know, the people that clean up behind you and take care of you when you're here. And it's very expensive to live on this island.
Yes.
So, you know, these people kind of can afford to live in this environment by living on one of these boats. And not have to pay the crazy amounts of
they wouldn't be able to live.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. And these are colorful characters for the most part.
And back to masks for a minute. You know, there was, you know, I'm sure you guys follow some of the Facebook feeds, but like Dante's pool, for example, you're supposed to wear a mask in the pool at Dante's while you're in the pool.
In the pool.
Yeah. So the whole mask that, you know, they keep.
Can we get some live footage of this at some point, because this is going to be hilarious.
I'm curious if the people are actually wearing a mask in a pool. But you know, it is according to the city of Key West, it is a $500 fine if you're not wearing
can you wear like scuba gear with that? Like, you know, I don't know if like if you're wearing scuba gear.
I don't think it counts. Your mouth is exposed.
Yeah, well, I mean, scuba gear, you have
a snorkel.
A snorkel, maybe.
Yeah.
You got to put a mask over the snorkel, I think, over the tip of the snorkel.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be easy to police for sure.
Yeah.
So
guys, I'm sorry I have to interrupt, but I am one of those guys that forgot to silence his phone, and I apologize for that. I'm going to remedy that right now.
Also, so it's a $500 fine or 60 days in jail. So, you know, guys, watch it out there. If you come down to vacation, wear your mask. And please don't hassle the servers and the people that are working in the restaurants. They don't make the rules. It's not their rules. Code enforcement makes them enforce the rules. Don't take it out on servers and staff. That's not cool.
No, it's really not. They're doing the best they can. And believe me, they're under a lot of stress right now because we don't, you know, I think everyone collectively in Key West, we don't know what's coming. You know what I mean? You know, everything that we all depend on is you guys, you people that are coming here as tourists and coming to patronize the establishments around town. So, you know, we're as confused as you guys are, you know, so.
And it changes.
Every day it changes.
So, you know, speaking of that, you know, the times have been tough on everybody around the country. You know, but Key West is particularly hit because we're a tourist town and we depend on tourism. And when tourism got shut down, it really affected a lot of businesses around here. And I kind of want to just go over a little bit of some of the places that have closed that are not coming back, that are permanently closed. Just yesterday, we found out that Bad Boy Burrito has shut down.
I love Bad Boy Burrito.
Love Bad Boy Burrito.
Great burritos.
Yeah. They had moved from Simonton Street, where they're at the Bottle Cap, and they'd moved over on Petronia, and they just got into their new place, and the COVID thing hit and shut everything down. And they try as they may, you know, they just couldn't make it, so they're out. Turtle Crawls, which has been around for decades. They're out.
It was an institution.
In Key West.
And you know, many of those type of institutions are feeling a major crunch right now.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of money to run these operations.
How much money does it take? I mean, how much money does it is rent on Duval Street? I mean, for a bar. Let's say.
I mean,
for
you're talking to just a basic entry level place is $25,000.
And this is a small place. This is like
50, 70, 80, $100,000.
Per month. Per month.
It's very difficult to make it on Duval Street. So Turtle Crawls is gone. Charlie Mack's barbecue that was over next to the Green Parrot, they're gone.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bill's is not going to open back up. They're shut down. They're gone. Cajun Noodle House. I know there was a lot of public outcry about that because I guess Cajun was a very beloved.
It was a very local
spot.
Yeah.
Lucy's Retired Surfer Bar. They're out. Loose Cannons. It was next door to that. So before Loose Cannons, it was the Tipsy, or it was the Rooster Tail. Before that, it was Gas Monkey. Before that, it was Johnny Rockets. Nothing ever really seems to make it in that spot there. Bien, which was the #1 rated restaurant in Key West for a long time, they're out. Buildings for sale. On a kind of a good note, I guess, is that the Boathouse
is moving.
It was under the Commodore. Is moving. To
That's one of my favorites. Their happy hours.
The big happy hour. Everybody loves that.
Everyone loves a happy hour. You cannot get a chair in this place for happy hour.
Yeah, and then Turtle Calls is a bigger place. Maybe that's going to help out.
I'm kind of excited about that.
So then
I like Turtle Calls, I really did, but I really love the burger.
But I guess their business had slacked off over the last few years. But and then in the location where they were underneath the Commodore, that is now the White Tarpon is going in.
Oh, I didn't know.
Because they've shut down. Yeah. And then now they're moving the White Tarpon brand into where the Boathouse used to be.
Right.
So good news. There's just kind of a little bit of shuffle there, but we've lost a few along the way. There's still some that are up for debate whether they're going to open or not.
We're really hoping that that this doesn't change too much of the face of Key West. Maybe. I may be a little bit optimistic, but I'm hoping that some really good, positive things are going to come from this, and that, like you said, Boathouse moving and these kinds of things. I really want. I'm hoping that the big chain restaurants and so forth don't really come in and gobble up all these spaces, because everyone I think that I've ever met loves Key West, not because you can go to a Starbucks and get a triple venti mocha.
Yeah.
You want to go to a place that's privately owned and has its own personality.
That being said, the location where White Tarpon used to be is now going to be a Wahlburgers. It's a chain going in there. But there's mixed reviews on people like the Wahlburgers.
Some people do. I've never had a Wahlburger.
Never had a Wahlburger. Yeah. So festivals and events like that, a lot of things have been canceled, postponed, changed around. So just some updates for you guys on that. The Conch Republic Independence Celebration, which would have already happened, but it was during the shutdown, has been postponed.
Tell us a little short background on what exactly that is.
Yeah. So the Conch Republic was formed. It was a protest over a blockade that they had back in 1982 up on Highway 1. It really affected tourism in Key West. So Key West decided to secede from the Union and form a sovereign nation, the Conch Republic. And
this has got to be all, like, everyone involved in this had to have been drinking whenever they came up with
it.
I can just imagine a bunch of guys sitting around drinking while this happened.
It should have ended, when they sobered up the next day. But they went ahead and continued on with it. And
maybe they didn't sober up.
Turn into a thing. Or maybe they didn't sober. Maybe they still haven't sobered.
Maybe they might, just like me, they didn't stop drinking.
So Key West has that mentality of it's a state of mind, right? So it's a micronation. Look it up on Google. Micronation is an actual thing. So every year, for 10 days, we celebrate the independence of the Conch Republic, the Conch Republic Independence Celebration. So it has been moved to November the 27th through December the 6th. You can find all the details for that on conchrepublic.com. So go check out conchrepublic.com.
It's a great celebration, guys. I mean, it's hilarious. If you guys were able to come see it, if you've seen it before, you know exactly what I'm saying. If you haven't, check it out because it's so much fun.
Yes, and there's like a million things go on during that.
Right, it's everywhere you look. There's some kind of fun. It's kind of bizarre and obscure, almost. Some of the stuff that they do.
There's a naval battle.
The naval battle is my favorite.
The naval battle is kind of probably the flagship of the entire thing, and of course there's the drag races, which are drag queens pushing beds down Duval Street.
Come on, where can you see this? Where on earth can you see this kind of stuff.
So,
I mean,
there's a full lineup on conchrepublic.com. While you're on conchrepublic.com, you can get a passport ordered. So this is the official, here at the Key West Trading Company headquarters, we are the official passport headquarters for the Conch Republic. So you can go online, conchrepublic.com, put all your information in from anywhere in the world, and we will make a Conch Republic passport. You can join the Conch Republic, and we will send this to you anywhere that you are. Or if you're in town, you can actually come down here and set up an appointment. We'll make it for you while you're in town.
Now, from what I understand, the EU is not allowing Americans outside of the U.S. Can we use this passport?
I think.
Can we use this passport to get into the European Union?
I believe Conch Republic.
Can I go to Germany with this passport?
I think you can definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So the Mango Fest is going on right now. So the mangoes only are ripe this time of year, so they couldn't postpone the Mango Fest. So the fine folks over at Mango Fest are doing a virtual Mango Fest this year. So you can actually go to the website for Mango Fest.
If that tastes as good as it would otherwise.
I think it's like the virtual taste and all that.
Yeah.
So
is that like a scratch and sniff?
I don't know. So go check it out, but it's literally a 360-degree immersion into the experience. All the booths are there. You can walk up to the booth, click on the booth, and there's a video that plays for whatever vendor that is. And I think it's a cool thing that they're at least still having it and didn't just cancel altogether. Right. And they still have several activities that you can do online like that. There's a poetry contest. There's a photography contest. There's a painting contest. There's a lot of different things for Mango Fest. Check it out. Singer-Songwriter Festival.
Great festival. That's really a lot of fun.
The number one singer-songwriter festival in the United States happens right here in Key West.
A lot of people come from all over.
All over. It's an international festival.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
The thing that it's one of the things before I lived in Key West. That's the one thing I always came to check out, the singer-songwriter festival.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, it's really.
I've met a lot of really amazing people during that festival. That's one of the best parts for me. Is that all the musicians, I'm a former musician myself, back in the day, 150 years ago. So meeting all these musicians from all over the country and internationally, people that come here for that kind of thing. And as you guys all know, musicians are very colorful people. So conversations you can have and the interactions you can have with these musicians, and it's every flavor too. It's not just one type of music. So
and you get to hear the story behind the song. Why they wrote the song, so it's definitely something we hopefully it won't get canceled. Right now it's just postponed. They don't have exact dates for it yet, but we're speculating it's sometime in November. There's a lot of things that hinge on Fantasy Fest, which is a huge event.
The biggest.
There will be a determination on whether Fantasy Fest actually happens or not July the 1st. We're just a couple of days away.
When's the last time they missed a Fantasy Fest?
They've never missed a Fantasy
Fest.
They've
never missed a Fantasy Fest.
So last year was the 30th anniversary of Fantasy
30
Fest.
years they've been doing this and they've never missed one. But yet, we may be on the verge of the very first time.
Could be the first time.
I
think we don't want to lose Fantasy Fest. We're hoping. They did cancel the 4th of July fireworks down here in Key West, and the rumor is they're going to close the beaches and things like that. They're afraid people are going to congregate to watch the fireworks. So all the precautions are in place. Fantasy Fest isn't until October. So we're hoping and praying that Fantasy Fest continues on, because it definitely will give us a little wind in our sails going into.
What if they changed the name to Mask Fest?
Mask Fest.
What are they like, Mask Fest, and they all wore like
a lot of people wear masks. I think
wear really funky masks, and if they change the name, I think that they'll let it happen. Mask Fest,
possibly good.
So it's just an idea, guys. Any of you guys out there from the city government that are watching, call it Mask Fest.
All right. Boat races are still on. I love 100% moving forward on the boat races. Those guys are full steam ahead. There's no changes, no alterations. It's full steam ahead on that. So that's awesome. A good thing. They're not even hesitating.
That's a big one here.
They're moving forward. Meeting of the Minds, which is the big Jimmy Buffett Parrot Heads Festival that goes down here every year right after Fantasy Fest. So we usually there's Fantasy Fest and then Meeting of the Minds, and then the boat races happen after that. The Meeting of the Minds has been canceled for this year. So the Parrot Heads are all upset about that, but they are talking about having the Trop Rock convention down here. So there's kind of during that same time, there will be some events going on. Plus the Tiki Man radio show and festival that they have at the Tiki House that B-Man and Michelle put on every year. They are going to be full steam ahead. They are having their event as well. So there will be some activities going on during that, except no organized parrot head events. So anyway.
Sorry about that, guys. Maybe next year.
Out on Stock Island.
Stock Island.
Might as well be
Stock
there.
Island's blowing up, man.
It's blowing up.
It's blowing up. It's the hottest new thing. You know, like everybody talks about.
It's a huge thing going over there in Stock Island. They're really building that up. It used to be the armpit of
right. It was kind of the ghetto, right? It was kind of the but ghetto. It's not anymore, guys. Not anymore.
They're building it up. We got the Perry hotels over there. There's a really cool place over there by the Hogfish Grill. It's called the Art Shack. It's got a bunch of local artists in there, and they've all got their
really
little spaces.
Cool over there, man. I've been there. It's really cool. It's all like set up and decked out. If you guys love art, and who doesn't love art? This is a cool place to go.
Absolutely amazing place, and they're doubling the size of it.
Wow.
So when you guys come into town, check out the Art Shack. They have a Facebook page, and they're over on Stock Island on the way to Hogfish Grill, right on the right-hand side on your way out. So
how far away is that from Key West? It's like
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Don't the way it sounds, it's another island. Like you've got to go like 100 miles or something. It's like just a few minutes away.
Yeah. So, people are getting creative around town since they shut the bars down. So the 801 Bourbon Bar, which is a drag bar here in town.
Another institution.
Yeah, been there for decades.
Yeah.
They didn't just shut the doors and go quietly into the night. So they are still having their cabaret open up nightly for shows. And it's called The Show Must Go On.
The drag show must go on.
So got to give kudos to those guys for not
they're awesome.
Bowing out.
They're awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And
this is a part of Key West, guys. Whether you like it or not, this is a part of Key West, and it's pretty amazing to see. So make sure you check that out.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up to the end of our session here. We would appreciate everybody tuning in.
But I'm having such a good time. We can't keep going.
We'll have to catch it on the next one. I would like to give a shout out to all of our U.S. military and our first responders. God bless the USA. God bless our troops.
Nurses and doctors and all those people that are keeping us safe. Thank you so much for your hard work, efforts, and long hours. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys so much.
Yes.
I'm Smuggler Jim. This is Captain Stroker with the Conch Republic News Network, and we're signing off.
All right, guys. Thank you for everything.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you. Follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram.